The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
1-800-610-7035 is worldwide toll-free. Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, Star Cable, and X-Zone TV. My guest this hour is Gary Gillette. He is an award-winning voice actor, director, producer, performer, humorist, and teacher, now heard in 22 countries. He can be heard in cartoons, movies, video games, audiobooks, amusement parks, as well as vending machines. I guess that's your coffee is ready. And he's also a shaman, metaphysicist, teacher, author, and lecturer in the world of esoteric knowledge. And Gary, welcome back to the X-Zone.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Rob.
Tell me, for the listeners who may not have been with us the last time you graced our airwaves with your voice, how did you go from being a voice actor and the work that you do in the media, the multimedia, to shaman, metaphysicist, teacher, and author and lecturer in the world of esoteric knowledge?
I never really separated the two. I've always been into metaphysics since I've had NDE since I was a little boy, and it's always been a part of my life. In fact, doing the voiceover stuff is a way to kind of bring a message of joy and fun into a world of what I consider metaphysics.
How do you define a near-death experience, or NDE?
I would say it's in you've heard it like a near death. I mean,
sure.
And you come back, but when you actually go to the other side, it's more like beyond near death. It's like you are dead and you get to see the other side of the realm of existence, and then you come back. So they say it's near because you did come back, but essentially, a near-death experience to some people is not getting hit by a car as they walk across the street. To me, it's actually experiencing the essence of the other side, your spiritual side, and learning about that and then coming back and trying to figure out what you're still doing as a human being.
How many times did you die, Gary?
4 times.
When was the most recent?
The most recent was 10 years ago, as I crossed the street with my fiance in Simi Valley. And we didn't quite make it across the street. We got hit by a drunk driver. He was going about 50 miles an hour. And she died immediately, and I died with her, but I got to come back. So that was my last time. That was 10 years ago this year on Memorial Day.
At the time when you both died, what do you remember, if anything?
Well, I remember a lot. Mostly adventures with her out of the body. Phenomenal, exciting, wonderful stuff together. Just a joyousness of being together, really, and playing and becoming different essences of being. At one time, we were living in an ice castle together, and our love was so strong we were melting the ice, which I thought was pretty exciting. And other times where we were just part of each other's lives in animal form, in spirit form, and just enjoying each other's company extremely, to the point where you're just like, why would I ever want to stop this? But one day she just kind of smiled at me and pushed me back.
Wow.
And that's when I knew that perhaps I wasn't going to stay with her in this particular essence, this particular spiritual faction.
Gary, stand by. You and I have to take our first break. Gary Gillette's our special guest, X-Zone Nation. www.karmicreliefthebook.com. That's karmicreliefthebook.com. And Metaliving.org. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break in 2 minutes as the X Zone continues from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies,
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows,
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xzbn.net. Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. Gary Gillette's our special guest. 2 websites, karmicreliefthebook.com and metaliving.org. What was it like for you, Gary, when your girlfriend basically said it's time for you to go back? It's not your time.
Well, she was my fiance, which made it even more powerful. The music you just played really hit home because that's something she would would sing, something like that. It was very spiritual in essence, but had a moment of strong humanity. In the case of being with her, it was very, very tough because I'd found what one might call, your soulmate. Mm-hmm. And I was helping her explore her spiritual side that she was just really understanding and getting into. And we were just coming into each other's lives as extremely, powerful entities to help each other. So when I had to leave her, especially in that form, even though out of the body, it didn't seem like it was anything different than being in the body, essentially, except that everything is so much bigger, so much more vibrant. The colors, the sound is unbelievable. And to have to leave that was very, very tough, especially knowing that I was coming into a body that was very much broken up. And, and I'd probably have to learn to walk again, which was the case.
How long were you on the other side?
With her, on my last one, or
yes.
Yeah. With her, I think it was just a few minutes in human time, or they didn't give me an exact time. I remember sometimes they told me how much it was, But in this case, they didn't really tell me time other than, to me, it seemed like weeks. And I know I was in ICU for 5 weeks, so I was probably in and out quite a bit.
The other 3 times when you died, were they the same? Was it... I've heard so many stories from people who have had near-death experiences where they go through the life review and then they go at the end of the tunnel and there's a deity that basically turns them around and says, no, it's not your time yet, or a loved one. Did this happen to you in the other 3 experiences that you had as well?
Well, when I was first born, I had died of what they would call a sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS, I guess they call it now. So then I was told that the reason I was coming back into human form, and these are by many entities around me, many lovely, what you call guardian angels, etc., telling me that my brother had died, and 8 years before I was born, and that they'd already taken him, and he'd already gone back to his home, the home, wherever you want to call it, the different spiritual essence. So they said that basically you're going back because they've had two daughters since you, and they really, really wanted a son, and we cannot take another son from this family, from this couple, because that's really all they prayed for. That's what they wanted. So you're going back. And I thought, well, okay, if I have to, but really, I kind of like being here again. And they said, well, you have a lot to learn, a lot to teach, and you're going to have a very busy life. So that was the essence of the first time. When I was 8 years old, the second time came, and that's when I was in a very unusual accident where a lawnmower picked up a bolt used to attach transformers onto these poles, these electric poles, and it was shot from a lawnmower into my neck. Ooh. And I died for 6 minutes. I watched him operate on me. If you go to my website, you can see a picture of me on the operating table with a bolt sticking out of my neck. And don't worry, it's not gruesome. It's just one of those things where you go, wow. And this is what I witnessed from the ceiling, essentially, as they operated on me. And I remember thinking, it's too bad because he was such a nice boy. And wait a minute, that's my favorite shirt. And then it dawned on me that I probably won't be needing that shirt where I'm going. And that was, they say, 6 minutes. But at that point, I was told that I was still not sticking around. I could hit the gift store on the way out. I had a lot of stuff to do on Earth, so enjoy my time here, but I was going back. And I said, in my impudence as an 8-year-old, I remember saying, well, so when can I come home? And they basically alluded that once your mother has passed, the doors will be open for you. And that was the answer I got. And I pretty much lived my life for a long, long time until the third one, which was with my fiance. And I had told her, listen, they told me this when I was 8 years old. And she said, well, I almost wish you hadn't told me that. And I said, well, it's not like I'm going to step in front of a truck or something. Can you imagine that's the way I phrased it? And wow. That's exactly what happened on the third one.
What about the fourth one?
The fourth one was when I flatlined when they were operating on me, trying to get my body back together.
Have you ever asked those that you see or communicate with on the other side why you 4 times?
It's not something I think of as terms of numbers. I keep kind of asking why I am being sent back again. Not in a way that, oh my God, why are you doing this to me? But more like, what is my mission? What have I not accomplished yet? And I'm still looking for that on a daily basis. I'm looking now to completely liquefy all my belongings and move to someplace where I can, live, where I can just grow my own vegetables and live in a peaceful environment where I don't have to think about ridiculous things. I'm looking for a place where I can, maybe in Maui or even somewhere in Topanga Hills, because I'm not too far from there. But I'm thinking someplace where I could just be who I am, teach metaphysics to those who want to learn it, live on the land like I'm supposed to do, like I've done many times in past lives, and not think about, oh my gosh, I just can't make sense of my life. I'm still trying to kind of find that on a daily basis. Did that answer your question? Because I don't know how far off I went on that one.
Well, you answered it in all honesty, so yes, it did answer my question.
Okay. The answers I get when I go inside to meditate are basically the answers I get when I leave the body after I've so-called died. The essence of here's what we want you to do. Here's what you can do. Here's what your clarity of purpose is on Earth, and find that. Keep looking. Everything you do is leading to that answer. So they don't really go, okay, you're going to do this and you're going to do this, and then this happens and this happens. They say, with total volition, you are free to make these decisions, and each decision will change, in essence, how you come to your truth.
Why do they keep it a mystery? Why can't we just be told?
That is probably the $1 million question. I think I'll put a chapter devoted to you in that question.
Oh, thank you.
in my book, since I'm still writing a lot of it, even though I've done some pre-sales on it, and I have a lot of things to offer people who want to know more now. Like I have PDFs on lucid dreaming and stuff like that. But the question, I think, is best answered by I'm saying the entities, look at us as energy forms who are still learning. And if they give us too much information, perhaps we'll change the way we find our own path. And I think that if we look inside, we do find their answers, and we do find the truth to who we think we are, who we can be.
Who are they? Who are these entities?
Well, in my case, they were my brother, people who had passed on before I was born and as I was alive.
Right.
My grandparents now, or one of them who had visited me when he died. My mom, my father now, although at the time, again, it depends on when you look at the so-called timeline of death. There is no time-space continuum out of the body, so you can visit and ask questions of anyone, anything, and they will do their best to answer you. So I don't think it's necessarily, I mean, you have guardian angels and you have many, many things. Like when I heard that song, when we came back in from the commercial time, I felt Laura's energy around me very powerful. That's my fiance. And I know she's right here with me because I can hear her laughing. So stop it. So essentially we are, constantly in contact with these. We don't have to go outside. We don't have to find this extrinsically. Jesus Christ said, the answer, the truth to who we are is found within. And I think most Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad, they all said the same thing, that we aren't separate from that which we think is a part of us that we can't see.
So why don't we accept the world that you just described with the different masters and the connection between the great beyond as reality? And why does society put it in a negative context and basically say it doesn't exist? It's all imaginary. It's poo-poo.
Wow, that's a heck of a phrasing. It's poo-poo. I mean, is that what you said, poo-poo?
Yeah, that was for you because, you see, I know that you do vending machines and amusement machines. So, plus, I can't use what I was thinking on air.
Oh, yes, so I know what you're thinking, and we could change it to many other languages, but I shall refrain from doing that at the moment. No, but essentially, that is a control factor. It is saying that if you don't do what we say you're supposed to do, as we say it, then you're going to a place that is either bloody awful or you'll never understand, okay? Mm-hmm. And if we were to find out the truth of who we actually are as spiritual beings, these entities, these amazing entities of phenomenal power, which, let's face it, the Illuminati and many others had throughout history have said, here's the answer. If we found that out, we would be so empowered that we wouldn't take the BS, the poo-poo that we get from our governments. We wouldn't take the nonsense that we get from people or government or institutions, any institution, that says you are wrong and we are right because we say we are. We have to look at that as a point of view as we know this. Mm-hmm. We can remember this, but we're told lies and we have to find our way around this. We have to find our way to our own truth. Stand by.
You and I have to take our break with the news at the bottom of the hour. Gary Gillette's our special guest, Exo Nation. 2 websites, karmicreliefthebook.com and metal living. Jeez, I was going to say metal iving. Metalliving.org. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies.
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows.
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xzbn.net. Gary Gillette's our special guest this hour, Exonation. www.karmicreliefthebook.com and metaliving.org. Gary, what do you want to teach the world?
Well, basically that we have the ability to empower ourselves and others through our spirituality, through that we can look at ourselves as humans in with a spiritual form, and we can look at ourselves as spirits in a human form. And by doing, I believe, the latter, we can really find out what we can do to make Earth the best place that we can make it, for humans until we pass to the next, facet of ourselves.
What do our dreams tell us, and where does dreaming fit into the entire scheme between what we call this world of reality and the world of spirituality?
I think they're a link. I think they're a bridge to the spiritual selves. I know that I like to program lucid dreams, and I like to have a lot of fun in them. Like last night, I remember going to a twin universe of Earth, and there were twins, literally twins, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed being in that, wherever the heck that was. And I didn't ask for that, but that's where I went, so I had a good time with it. And I really think that we can ask our dreams questions, and that part of us, that higher essence of ourselves, will help us find the answers, will help us look around and say, oh, well, here's something you may not have considered. Here's don't forget Einstein, many wonderful people of science and metaphysics use dreams to answer questions, to find out more information about their higher selves.
What do you use dreams for?
Essentially that. Sometimes I just dream because it feels good, because I'm sleeping, and that's where I go. Other times it's I do like to say, oh, wow. What would be a really good thing to try to understand would be maybe my next steps, maybe more of a clarity of purpose, maybe talking to the other entities on the other side and find out maybe what I can do to increase my quality of life, not from possessions, but from knowledge and love.
How can we use the other side to better ourselves on this side?
I guess just by realizing that we do have that as a library, Akashic records, if you will, a place where we can say, this is a storehouse of information that we can access. And we can do that through meditation as well. I believe the two aren't mutually exclusive. I think the two have a lot in common, because we are looking inside for answers, and we are looking to find maybe other entities or spirits to help us find these answers.
How would one go about learning how to do lucid dreaming, Gary?
Well, I'll send a PDF to anybody who wants to go, anybody listening now. I'd be happy to. If you go to my website, I'll be happy to send you a PDF on that. But the basic outline is that you decide that you are going to, in a lucid dream, things change very quickly, as in any dream, right? But in a lucid dream, you realize it. So here's the key. The key is to pick up something with writing on it, anything, a newspaper, I've done that, coins, anything that has writing on it. Look at it and then put it down and then look at it again. It'll be different.
Yeah.
it'll be different every time. And when you realize that, you go, wait a minute. In my so-called real life, I look at something and I put it down, I look at it again, and it's pretty much the same. It is exactly the same. So it'll be different every time you do that. And then you say, wait a minute, okay, now I know. Yeah, I'm in a lucid dream.
See, when I dream, I look for signs or words that I can't read. For example, the front page of a newspaper, it makes no sense to me. And then I look at a street sign, it makes no sense to me, or a sign on a store. Then I know I'm lucid dreaming, and that's when the fun begins.
Ne parlez pas français?
Ben oui, je parle français. Aucun problème là.
There you go. Sure. If you do that, then you can. No, I'm kidding, of course, because of course you speak French, and that's probably not the language you're having trouble with. For me, I studied many languages over the years, probably about 12 languages. So if I find something that is totally hard to read, I think that's probably a good key as well. So that's probably a good key for you, is to look at it and say, wait a minute, I can't read this. But do you become more curious about it to find out what it's trying to tell you, or do you seek to translate it to a language you do understand?
I just realized that I'm in a dream, and now whatever I want to do, I can.
Now, see, I thought I was talking to you for real, so this is a dream. I kind of suspected that because I was looking at my email and it changed, but I think I just opened the other email.
I think so too.
No, of course. I think that once you do realize it's a dream, then what I do, and I'm a crazy person, I head for the nearest highest point and leap off and see if I can fly. And if I can't, then I know it wasn't a dream and I'm dead. And then, big deal. I'm coming back anyway.
But what happens?
No, but I try to find that empowerment.
What happens if you don't the next time? The next time you don't come back?
If I don't what?
If you don't come back.
Then I'll have done my business. I mean, you have this on recording. People can go to the archives and say, that's one more schmuck that did what he could while he was here. And now he's gone, and maybe I'll see him in a dream, or maybe he'll contact me another way. Who knows? But I've made a small imprint on the soul of humanity.
What do you think that imprint is?
Love, sharing love. And everybody does that. I mean, we do it in many different ways. Sometimes we get confused, and it comes out as a negative, what we think of as a negative connotation. But we look at love, and if we think of it as something we can share without ever having to worry about getting some back, then we're always going to have some more than enough to give. But if we think of it as something that if we give it away, we're either not going to get it back unconditionally, which is a very strange kind of concept, or we're not going to get it back enough to fill what we believe to be our souls. Does that make sense to you? Because when we give it away freely, and I can give it away to a stranger on the street,
sure,
I don't feel that I need to have it back in the same form for me to feel okay about giving it away. It's something that you could never run out of. If you love yourself, you could love others 100%. If you don't love yourself, then you're going to have to find a way to do so. And from that point of view, at least in my opinion, from that point of view, if you love yourself, then everything is okay because you live in a world of love and you don't live in a world of fear or hate or lack or something where people say, oh my God, this is never going to happen. This is never going to make sense to me. It will make sense because you choose to have it make sense.
Plus, if you can't love yourself, no one else can.
I believe that to be true because if you don't love yourself, other people look at you and say, wow, I love them. But if they can't love themselves, I don't really feel that my love is getting through. You know, that's the weirdest thing, in my opinion, that anything can even be imagined, is that your ego you can put that aside because the ego is trying to define who you are as a human being. But if you can define yourself as a being of pure energy and pure love, then the ego doesn't have to get in the way. The ego doesn't need to say, oh, wait a minute, I'm not getting love from this person. I'm not getting love from this. You look at the animals and they say, I love you unconditionally. It's nice that you feed me, but I can love you unconditionally. And why can't humans realize that this is possible for humans as well?
Well, I guess like you were saying, the ego kicks in.
Absolutely. The ego defines who we are. We look in the mirror and we say, okay, I am around 50 years old. I have lost my hair. I am pretty good shape because I play tennis. I get some sleep and I'm healthy and I eat healthy foods. But wait a minute. This is just the outer. This is how I keep the physicality. This is how I keep the physical part of me alive. But there's so much more that I can't even begin to share in any language, because everyone sees this in themselves. They say, who am I? Who am I really? What am I doing here? And the ego says, oh, yeah, well, let me see. You're an actor, and you're a father, and you do this, and you do this, and you want a car. No, that's insane. But the ego says, well, that's all I can give you. When you give a child a toy, he associates that toy with who he is. Try taking that toy away and see what happens. The ego says, oh, no, that's me. That ball is now a part of who I am. I look at that ball and I see the stars and I see the little stripes on it and I see all these pretty colors. I see these that's who I am. That's me. If I can't identify with this, who am I? So we go throughout our entire life surrounding ourselves with these things, these objects who try to define who we are. As I look around this room, I know that these objects mean nothing, but yet they tell me, oh yes, you do this, and this is because of this. You have this award from this, and you have this from here. And this defines who you thought you were, and this colors you, and this looks good on you, and you do this. And when you do this, people say, oh, that looks so good on you. But that's insanity. That's absolutely, my definition of insanity is looking around the world and trying to use it to define who you are. And I think everybody goes through this.
How did you become a shaman?
I think I have little choice in the matter, in that I knew that spirituality went way beyond any kind of religion to me. So I explored all religions as much as I possibly could. And I guess the idea of Taoism made the most sense to me, because my path is constant. My path is who I am, but only as far as the path itself. If I'm looking for a destination, then the path is meaningless. The path is the destination. And once I realized that, I said, I believe that we can become more. And that's when I decided that I was going to explore this avenue of who I was.
Exonation, Gary Gillette's our special guest this hour. www.karmicreliefthebook.com and metaliving.org. How can you laugh at the idea of dying? Is it because you know that life is worse than death? Does that make sense?
Hold on one second. I was trying to restrain that until you finish your sentence, or your question. Yeah, absolutely. You have to, not because it is makes more sense. Is it because it is who we are? Mm-hmm. When we die, we are who we truly are. Instead of, again, this facet, this illusion, this Maya of being on this planet and trying to make sense of it. So I have to laugh because this is absurd. Our definition of being alive is rather absurd, in that we honestly don't think that anybody else is like us. We honestly look around and say, we have to use divisiveness because that person is black, or that person is short, or that person is fat, or that person is handicapped. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. That is just insane. If you can look at somebody and say, that's the reason I'm different from you, then you are just, I don't know, you're in a forest of trees, but you don't see that you are a tree. You're looking outside of the forest to say, who am I? Instead of saying, I am everything. My favorite thing in metaphysics is the essence, or the idea of entanglement, which is to say we are a part of everything that we can see or hear or imagine or taste or anything. We are a part of that. So to separate ourselves from that is absolute insanity. And that is being a human. So yeah, dying is pretty good. But then we move on to another state, many other states actually, from what I understand. And then we also become more of who we truly are instead of who we think we are.
Having been dead 4 times and come back 4 times, do you find yourself taking risks with your life, or are you more careful? Do you value life more now?
I think the joie de vivre is very powerful. And there's no reason to think that life is anything more than precious as a gift and a learning tool. It's a way to learn and a way to empower yourself and the universe, because you're finding questions, you're finding answers to questions that are really part of the cosmos. So I don't go out of my way to do things that I think will endanger my life. I have done the highest bungee in the world, or one of them, in New Zealand. I have swum with sharks. I have done many things that I think are part of the joy of life. I don't think that, I ride motorcycle occasionally. I don't think that it's something where it's like a death kind of thing where I say, oh my God, if I take more risks, I'm going to get there sooner. And I'm not a person who says I can't cross the street anymore because I was once hit by a truck as I crossed the street. I'm not a person to say, oh, this will never work because I can't, I don't know what the outcome will be. So no, I think I take more risks because I'm not afraid to be alive.
So you don't consider yourself to be immortal?
Well, yeah, just not as a human.
All right, stand by, Gary. You and I have to take our final break. Gary Gillette's our guest this hour. Here's a couple of websites, Exonation. www.karmicreliefthebook.com. That's www.karmicreliefthebook.com and www.metaliving.org. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as the X Zone continues with my special guest, Gary Gillette, from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and of course, the good people at Star Cable and X Zone TV. By the way, once again, I'd like to say hello to our newest affiliate, KKRP, Rainbow 95 in Oklahoma.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Gary Gillette's our guest this hour. Once again, X Zone Nation, here's a couple of websites for Gary. www.karmicreliefthebook.com. That's karmicreliefthebook.com. metaliving.org. Gary, to you, what is the meaning of life?
To live, I guess, just to be alive and explore the essence of humanity. I mean, as far as life in this form, I believe that if we look at everything as a learning experience, everything as an unfolding, then the meaning is self-evident.
Yeah. What's next for Gary Gillette?
I think the next thing for me is to find, like I think I alluded to in the beginning, a nice little place where I can grow my own vegetables and maybe have people come by and I can teach them metaphysics. If anybody's out there who wants me to be a living
guru,
metaphysicist, and I'm also a massage therapist, I will be more than happy to consider that arrangement, because I just need something simple. I don't need complication, and my life has been full of complications. I'm not looking for maybe a place either in Topanga or Maui or someplace where it's beautiful and has a positive energy, that I can be who I really am instead of just just being. I mean, I think it's just time for a change, and I like shaking things up. I don't mind just moving on and being something completely different.
Here's a question for you. How does somebody know that where they're living has a lot of negative energy and not positive energy?
A lot of times, as spiritual entities, as psychic beings, which we are, we can feel that, and we don't respond well to it, or we feel sick, or we just are getting what they call energy vampires around us that are trying to pull in our energy for them because they don't have a powerful energy response for themselves. They don't know how to get to that. So I would say a lot of times it's just a feeling you get, and we're very aware. Sometimes we'll deny this or we won't realize it, but we're very aware of what we're supposed to be doing, and a lot of times we'll even sabotage things to create a life that we think that we're actually supposed to be living.
So it sounds like at times we can be our own worst enemies.
I believe that to be true, in that we don't know our path most of the time. So we're looking at a way to get there, and sometimes the way we get there is very circumnavigational compared to perhaps the way we thought we were going to get there.
Hey, Gary, we've run out of time for tonight, but I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your stories with us. And I'd also like to give you congratulations for your new book that's available for pre-orders, the Spiritual Guidebook.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's always fun to be on your show. I look forward to doing this again sometime. If I might spell the website real quickly.
Please do. Go ahead.
It's KARMICTHEBOOK.com and metaliving.org, which is METALIVING.org. So that'll give you an idea, maybe, to link
Gary,
in.
we've got to say so long, buddy.
Stuff.
We'll make sure that people do get your links. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break at 6.5 minutes past with the news. Don't go away.